Hello everybody, B-Metal is here. Very special day because Iron Maiden has released a new song this week, and the song is The Writing on the Wall. What I want to do is go over the video, which is quite amazing, and point out the Easter eggs, little things you might have missed on it. So let's get down to it. Alright, The Writing on the Wall. Of course, the song opens up with those vultures circling around, and the sky on the background here really looks like the back cover of The Number of the Beast, or you could also make an argument that looks like the Flight of the Icarus cover as well. Now this dude comes in dying with a t-shirt, and of course here is the World Slavery Tour shirt from 1985. Now then we get a glimpse of the Belshazzar's Feast flyer, the ones that was used to promote the video beforehand. Now, of course, Belshazzar's Feast is also referred to as the story of the writing on the wall. It's chapter 5 in the book of Daniel. Basically, I don't know much about that, but basically, a message was written on the wall for Belshazzar. He couldn't read it. Called Daniel, and basically the message was that God would avenge by kill him and someone would take over his throne. That's the story of Belshazzar's Feast. And then we have a very clear view of the flyer when it gets to the floor. This dude comes with a hood and closes the eyes of the dead guy, and here you can see the ring with the Eddie from Peace of Mind cover. The vulture flies, calls the friends, and the four vultures transform into the four riders of the apocalypse. Here in the scene when they start riding, we can see two houses at the background. On the left side, that's basically the Cart and Horses pub in Maryland, Stratford, where Iron Maiden started with a semi-residency in 1976. On the right side, to me, looks like a Naces High building there falling on the right side. Now, as they pass to some ruins, we see the Ed Force One from the Book of Souls tour crashed into the floor. We can see several things in this scene, so let's break it down. First of all, in the broken house on the left seems to have a poster of Eddie. It's difficult to see which Eddie is that, but it sounds like from the Seventh Son of a Seventh Son era. Also, on the floor near that poster, there's kind of a doll or a woman on the floor. Reminds me of the woman of the Twilight Zone cover of that single, or something related to the first albums where there were quite a bit of covers with women, like women in uniform. And then on the top we see a guy with wings in his arms hanging on the bridge, and that's probably a nod to Flight of Icarus. There's a lot of light posts in this video, and especially here, and I think that could be a nod to the covers of the first few albums and singles where a lot of light posts were present. Now at the floor we have another poster, and this pretty much look like the Cannot Play with Madness poster on the floor. On the right side there's a watch that looks like it's showing 2 minutes to midnight, and there is also a fridge with the written life, and this is from the Cannot Play with Madness video, where the actor opens this fridge and the seventh son of a seventh son, Eddie, is inside pulling his fetus from inside. And at the back there's also seems like the trooper cannon destroyed there, and of course there's a London Tower Bridge on the right side that looks like a reference of the Brave New World album, and the British destroyed flag on the right top corner, similar to the ones used in The Trooper and also Infinite Dreams. Here we see a toxic warning sign with Eddie faces on it, and on the right side you see a portrait from Eddie from the Twilight Zone single cover. Now you can see that in the motorcycles there are counting of numbers, like counting numbers in prison. but I couldn't find a clear reference between those. Some of those here, this one seems to be the number 22, maybe for a 22 Acacia Avenue. Then another one seems to be number 26. Can't think of what 26 could mean. The other here is number 14. Also couldn't link to anything specifically on top of my head. We see again the ring of peace of mind in the hooded person. So this scene where the people coming behind the car, there's a lot to pack here. On the left side, there's Up the Ions graffitied on this piece of metal. At the barrel at the left side, there's Eddie Lives, similar to what we have in the Somewhere in Time cover. On the right side, the Eddie's Archive box. This was a regret of me that I've never bought this one when it was released, I think back in 99 or 2000. A very cool box with, I think, 6 CDs with some rare recordings of the band. On the barrel on the right side, it's difficult to read the first thing that is written in white. And from the dudes, yeah, there's an astronaut without a leg. And I couldn't find anything specific on this guy. It looks like it's like a basketball player wearing a Lakers t-shirt, but I can't be sure. There's this inverted triangle in a yellow hoodie. I wonder what that is, but I couldn't find out. And then on the barrel, when the scene moves further, we can read Sic Transit Gloria Mundi, which is the phrase was used during the ritual of papal coronation ceremonies back in the day. Yeah, this dude here in the limo, I don't know if it's a reference, but it does remind me of Kingpin from Marvel Comics. And I don't know if there's a specific reference. Yeah, the astronaut with one leg, I also couldn't find, but there is a very distinct face inside there. Okay, so this scene is another one packed with references. Well, first of all, very obvious, No Prayer for the Dying is written, so which is the name of the 1990 album. But also, this tombstone reminds us of the cover of Live After Death. The alien skeleton here is clearly from the Final Frontier album. Some Celtic cross here, the Statue of Liberty. And in this other cross on the right side, there's goggles that look like from Aces High. And the dog tags here could be a reference to the album A Matter of Life and Death. You can see the Moai statues of the Eastern Islands destroyed. And then we have some Trooper beer cans here smashed, and also this yellow puppet from Nico McBrain that he has in his drums. And on the floor down there, you have the R101 crashed, and you have a couple of satellites, could be a reference to Satellite 15, the Final Frontier. And at the back there, you have again the tower that they are heading towards. I don't know, maybe it's just a big stretch here, but looks like one of the dudes here in the party looks like Yoda. Yeah, and the dude sucking life from this couple reminds me a lot of Dr. Manhattan from the Watchmen comic book. Of course, then there's the revelation that the dude in the hood is actually Eddie. And you can clearly see that it's transformations from the Somewhere in Time cyborg Eddie into Samurai Eddie that reminds us of the beer Sun and Steel. When we look at the wall here, basically we have the names of the 4 riders of the apocalypse: death, war, plague, and famine. And then Samurai Eddie calls the 4 riders. The first one to me is the Dance of Death Eddie, and represents, of course, death. He has the machete from the Killers album cover, and also a scythe that looks like from the Eddie from Fear to Eternity, which was a compilation album. The second Eddie, I think, represents war and is the Somewhere in Time because he's shooting his laser to kill some of the people, including the clown DJ. The third one is the power slave Eddie, represent plague. And the fourth one can only be famine and is represented by the Book of Souls Eddie. Then Eddie takes into his car the Adam and Eve kind of representation. And at the number plate here is press 1. I'm not sure what that references. And the Roman numerals on the side is basically 666. I cannot decipher what the Japanese characters mean on Eddie's chest here, but if anyone knows, please let us know in the comments. The final thing for me is, of course, the explosions at the back remind a lot of the 2 Minutes to Midnight single cover. And that's it. That's all I could find in terms of Easter eggs and references. If you spot some new ones, please let us know in the comments, or if you find a mistake on mine, please let me know as well. Thanks for watching, and be meta always!